Pirates. When you hear that word, who comes to mind? Blackbeard, Captain Kidd, Jack Sparrow, maybe? For centuries, the image of a pirate has been a swashbuckling man with a beard, a parrot, and a treasure map. But what if I told you that some of the most fearsome, cunning, and successful pirates in history were women? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the forgotten furies of the sea, the real-life pirate queens whose stories have been largely lost to time. These aren't damsels in distress. These are women who commanded fleets, plundered treasure, and struck fear into the hearts of sailors across the globe. So, batten down the hatches, because we're about to set sail on a journey to unearth the truth about these incredible women. Let's start our voyage in the chilly waters of the North Sea during the Viking Age. Here, we meet figures shrouded in legend, but rooted in historical accounts, like According to Danish history, Alfalad was a Gothic princess who refused an arranged marriage. Instead of accepting her fate, she dressed as a man, gathered a crew of loyal female followers, and took to the seas, becoming a formidable pirate captain. Her crew raided ships along the coasts of the Baltic Sea, with such ferocity that the King of Denmark sent a fleet to hunt her down. The commander of that fleet, none other than the very man she was supposed to marry. The story goes that they engaged in a fierce battle, and it was only when her suitor managed to knock off her helmet, revealing her identity, that the fighting stopped. Impressed by her skill and courage, he proposed again, and this time she accepted, trading her pirate ship for a throne. While parts of her story may be embellished, Alfhild represents the defiant spirit of early female sea raiders who chose a life of freedom over one of convention. Fast forward a few centuries to the golden age of piracy in the Caribbean. This is the era we all know and love. But even ere women made their mark. You've probably heard of Anne Bonny and Mary Read. Their story is a whirlwind of rebellion, disguise, and adventure. Anne Bonny was an Irish noblewoman who eloped with a small-time pirate to escape a dull life. In the pirate haven of Nassau, she fell in with the infamous Calico Jack Rackham and joined his crew. She wasn't just a passenger. She fought alongside the men, earning their respect with her fiery temper and skill with a pistol and cutlass. Then there's Mary Read, whose life was even more extraordinary. From a young age, her mother disguised her as a boy to secure an inheritance. The disguise stuck. As Mark Read, she joined the British Army and even fought in a war. After her husband died, she resumed her male disguise and ended up on a ship that was captured by, you guessed it, Calico Jack. To protect herself, she joined the pirate crew. For a while, no one on the ship, not even Calico Jack, knew that two of their fiercest crew members, Anne and Mark, were women. The secret only came out when Anne, thinking Mary was a handsome young man, tried to start a romance, forcing Mary to reveal her true identity. From then on, the two women became close friends, a formidable duo on the ship. A witness at their trial later testified that when it came to fighting, no one was more ruthless or ready to do anything of mischief than Anne Bonny and Mary Read. They proved that a pirate's courage had nothing to do with gender. But if you think their story is wild, let's sail east to the South China Sea. Here, we find the most successful pirate in all of history, a woman who commanded a fleet that would make Blackbeard's little flotilla look like a bathtub toy. Her name was Zheng Yi Sao, or Qing Shi. She began her life in poverty, but in 1801 she married a notorious pirate commander. Upon her husband's death, just 6 years later, she didn't step aside. Instead, through brilliant political maneuvering, she seized control of his entire pirate confederation, and what a confederation it was. At her peak, Zheng Yi Sao commanded the Red Flag Fleet, an armada of over 1,500 ships and an estimated 80,000 pirates. To put that in perspective, the Spanish Armada that tried to invade England had only about 130 ships. Zheng Yi Sao wasn't just a figure. She was a genius administrator and a strict disciplinarian. She created a rigid code of laws for her massive pirate army. The rules were absolute. Anyone who gave orders on their own or disobeyed a superior was immediately beheaded. All plundered goods had to be registered before they could be distributed, ensuring a fair system and preventing She created a pirate empire with its own government, taxes, and laws. She was so powerful that the Chinese Navy the Portuguese, and even the British couldn't defeat her. After years of humiliating the world's greatest naval powers, she did something even more remarkable. She negotiated her own surrender, but this wasn't a defeat. She walked away with a full pardon for herself and all her followers, got to keep all her loot, and retired as a wealthy, respectable businesswoman. She died peacefully in her bed at the age of 69, having lived a life more incredible than any fiction. From the Vikings of the North to the power brokers of the East, women have always been a part of the pirate world. But why have their stories been so often overlooked? Part of the reason is that history is often written by the victors, and in a male-dominated world, the stories of powerful women were often downplayed, demonized, or simply erased. Many female pirates, like Mary Read, had to live in disguise, their true identities hidden from history itself. Others were dismissed as mere curiosities or footnotes in the tales of their male counterparts. But their impact was real. They challenged the social norms of their time, proving that skill, leadership, and a thirst for adventure are universal human traits. They weren't just female pirates. They were pirates, period. And some of them were the best to ever sail the seven seas. The stories of Alfield, Anne Bonny Mary Read, and the great Zheng Yi Sao remind us that history is full of hidden figures, and that the truth is often far more fascinating than the myths we've been told. So, the next time you picture a pirate, maybe you'll see more than just a man with a wooden leg. Maybe you'll see the fierce Viking princess, the rebellious Caribbean fighters, or the brilliant admiral who ruled the China seas. Their legacies have been forgotten for too long, but their spirits of fury and freedom live on. Thanks so much for joining me on this historical adventure. If you enjoyed unearthing these hidden stories, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the past. Let me know in the comments which pirate queen you found most fascinating. Until next time, stay curious.